Welcome back to Tech-Junkie channel. I'm Davis and I will walk you through promoting a domain controller in this video. After the hypervisor foundation of this lab, we need to build a centralized authentication server for most of our setup. Microsoft Active Directory is an excellent choice. Well, there's really not many choices out there that as easy to set up as the Active Directory. The AD is also got many application and security related stuff that can be integrated with. It lives on domain controllers, and domain controllers run on Windows servers. So Windows Server is a must, basically. Actually, we just need a Windows Server for that. And for this one, let's bring out our DC01, the virtual machine we provisioned in previous episode. Okay, come on. Console. Crap. Console. Remote console. First of all, just update the time zone, give the server a proper host name. After the installation, it always get a crappy name. And optionally, we can disable IPv6. Okay, there's a tips. As you can see, you can click on the VMRC or the web console, searching for the Control Alternate Delete for the button to do that. But in Windows, you can press Control Alternate and Insert as a quick key for the Control Alternate Delete in the virtual machine. Okay, let's log in. Let's okay, time zone, date, time settings. I am living in Hong Kong, so it's GMT +8. There's a time zone setting yet. That one, cool. And then the time looks good. And then I would like to disable the IPv6. I always do this for my servers. Okay, I want a bigger screen. Okay. HKLM, HK local machine, systems, current control set, services. Just type TCP, bring me there, and press the down arrow key, TCP IP6. Expand that, parameters, add a new D word. Disable the components. FF. Okay. That's the shortcut key for the system properties. Okay, one more thing. Let us just enable the RDP. That's crucial for the later setup. It's much more convenient than the VMware console. The console is basically just for the hardware setup. What's the name for DC01? DC01. Yep. Okay. Come on. One more thing. I have to give it an IP address. Static one, of course. Okay, the ncpa.cpl brings me directly to the network connection, so I don't have to navigate the control panel to define that out. Okay, property. Okay, TCP. 101, right? Okay, the first one we have to point to our cell, which is 127.0.0.1. But in a later setup or your setup or your lab, you want to have two domain controllers. Remember, always point to the other domain controller first and then point to yourself, such as you have the second one like the DCO2 with 192.168.111.211. You should place that domain controller's DNS in front yourself, this domain controller. But anyway, we have one on it. Delete those. Okay. Go back, check. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. Let's reboot the server. Close. We start now. Okay, control alternate insert. Crap. Okay, after the reboot, what we do is, yes, bring out the server manager. Actually, you can use PowerShell to install the domain controller, domain services roles, and perform promoting the server to a domain controller. But for the sake of easy to use, I've just used the GUI anyway. Okay, one more time. Manage, add roles and features. Next, role-based or feature-based installation. Next, this server only. Okay, next. Okay, for this one, in the select server roles, select the Active Directory domain services. It will point an additional confirmation for the related tools and CLI has that recommended to install. Just click on the F features. It's okay. Next. Okay, yada yada yada. Next. Install. I don't know if you guys are the same, but for me, I just really love to bring out the task manager and check on the CPU. Just wanted to know, are you working or not? He's working. Okay. Come on, man. Okay, cool. The roles installation is completed. We can promote this server to a domain controller, and of course, just in case you forget to press the promote this server to a domain controller here, you close that. You can always go back there and click on the exclamation mark and click on the promote this server to a domain controller. Hey, cool. Select the deployment operation. Okay, we are adding a new forest. So, what's the forest name? simplelab.int. Okay, in this screen, we can choose the forest functional level and the domain functional level. In which we usually choose the latest one. But for any compatibility issue, you have a specific functional level you need to warn on, you can choose it anyway. But for this lab, how about I choose 2012 R2? Later on, we can do another lab on that. Okay. DNS server, yes, it must. Global catalog, also a must. With only domain controller, we are not going to deploy that. So it's gray out, no problem for us. The DSRM password, the directory services restore mode password, basically is when the domain controller need to go into the restore mode to restore any directory object or perform a full directory restore using a backup. We need that password to enter the directory restore mode. Without this DSRM password, you cannot do that. So give it a password. Okay, no delegation. Next. It should provide us because we are using simplelab.int, so it should give us a simple lab for the NetBIOS domain name. Okay, the database default location. Okay, next. Next. Okay, all prerequisite pass chat. Okay, install. It will promote the server to domain controller, and it will also install the related services like DNS sort of things. And in the end, it will automatically restart. Oh, just like that. Oh, one more tips. When your cursor is captured in particular virtual machine, you can seem to find your cursor. You can press Ctrl and alternate key to release your cursor, just like that. Ctrl alternate. Yep. For the domain controller, right after the first promo, it takes some time to complete the setup. So in the meantime, let me prepare another member server and maybe a Windows 10 server, Windows 10 desktop to join the domain. I will pause the video here and prepare the 2 VM for you. Okay, guys, it took me some time to prepare 2 more VM, and the virtual domain controller is long prepared. So we log in to our domain controller. Okay, after we promoted the server to a domain controller, it no longer has any local account on it. And the administrator will be the built-in administrator of the domain. Use the same password as the previous local administrator for the domain administrator. Okay, what is it? I forgot the password already. Okay. If you have experience on domain controller or administrating a domain controller, you will see our active user and computers will be available. And sure enough, we got one domain controller, which is DC01, and there should be no other computer in this directory. Yep, other than the DC01. Okay, for the some built-in contexts, the administrator is the built-in domain admin, enterprise admin, and maybe schema admin. Yep, and the built-in administrators, which gives this account superpower. Some organization would create admin account with different groups. Some of them just have domain admin, some of them just has enterprise admin, and some of it's just have a schema admin with enterprise or domain admin. Usually, not one account have all these privilege at the same time for some security purposes. But back to our simple app. Our 2 VM is ready. One is named CA01, stand for Certificate of Verity, and the other one is WKN01, stand for, of course, Workstation 01. Let's check on the IP address and the DNS. Okay, the IP address is I follow the IP sequence, so it is 103 for CA01 and 104 for WKN01. The tricky part is for those who don't know a domain controller or Active Directory. If you want to join a domain, you have to at least point to one of the domain controller. Okay, it will give you the ability to look up the entire domain for services such as LDAP and other domain-related services lookup. You have to enter at least one. In reality, people just install multiple domain controller for resilience. You can place down as many domain controller as you like. Typically, uh, two for one side, or some of them have two sides, maybe production size and offsite or DR side or something. They may have to add extra DNS in this tab. Okay, pointing to the DCO one. Okay, both of them. Okay, and I made a minor mistake here because in a rush I forgot to change the adapter type to VMXNet3. I leave it as default. It becomes a Intel virtual Intel NIC. Okay, but it's not a big of deal. So I performed some tasks on this virtual machine. I changed the time zone. I enabled the RDP, and what? And nothing. I configure a static IP. Oh yes, of course. So bring out the trusty system property, and on the default tab computer name, and in the middle of the box we click on the change. We can select the member of domain here and type in our domain. Okay, it is simplelab.int. Oops, something went wrong. That's not good. Let me have a brief chat. Hey guys, it took me a while to figure out what's going on. First of all, I duplicate the IP address of two virtual machines. That's a very stupid mistake I made. And secondly, on the CA01, I mistyped a IP address for the DNS server. So whenever you cannot join the domain, you should probably perform an NS lookup, which I did a couple minutes ago. So simple as look up the domain you would like to join. It should give you the domain controller IP addresses. Okay, for this, because I got only one domain controller, so it returns only one address. If you cannot resolve the IP address, so pretty much mean you cannot resolve all the DNS, the services as well. So fix that. Okay. Okay, let's join domain again. I hope that went well. Okay, simple lab int administrator, the password. Oh, that's good. Okay, welcome to the simple lab.int domain. Okay, reboot, blah blah blah. Okay, and then close that one. We start now. The workstation. I should probably give more memory to that poor workstation. It's a bit slow. What's the domain again? Okay, simple lab. As long as it prompts you for the credentials, so yes, you should be able to resolve the domain. Excuse me. Okay, welcome. As soon as this window pops up, there will be a new domain computer object generated in the domain controller. Okay, we can get there and see that. Excuse me again. Okay, not the DNS. Okay, computers. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's look. Check on the attribute. Yep. Is 7:44. The object is created 7:42, just a minute or two ago. That one 7:43, a minute ago. So let's create another test account. Maybe let's create an OU test account. How about demo user 01? Demo user 01. Okay. You should probably not do that in any production environment. Once again, this is a lab, so okay. Okay, another one, demo admin. Okay, demo admin. Oops, daemon admin. Demo admin. Password. In order to log in any member server, so I have to give it a domain admin because I'm lazy. Actually, I should add that account to a group and assign that group to the CA01's local administrator, but I was being lazy. Let's see we can use this domain account to log on this server or workstation or not. Okay, first let's test our demo user. Demo user 01. I forgot the 01 for the admin account. Okay, cool. It's logging in. I get back here. Press F2. 01. Okay, change all the instance. Okay, demo admin 01. Okay, cool. The workstation is logging in. Go to the server. Other users. Okay, another fun fact. If your member server or workstation did not change the default administrator's username, when you type in administrator, it will automatically map to the local administrator instead of the domain administrator. If somehow you really need to use the domain administrator to log into the particular machine, you have to type in the domain prefix instead. To do so, type in the type in the domain prefix and /c sign into simple lab. Okay, for other user account that does not present on the server or workstation, you can just type in the username instead. By default, it will use the domain account. Demo admin 01. Okay, you see, still sign into simple lab. Okay, demo 01 admin also working. Cool. I can't believe I make such mistake. Oh, there you go. So that's pretty much this video about. If you like to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Is appreciated. See you in the next video.